Hello.
Okay, I don't hear you well. Very clear. You're too weak.
Hello, everyone.
I,
Hello, everyone.
okay, that's better. Yes.
Okay. So, welcome to our third live Q&A session with Professor Soogil Young. So, before we start, let's give him the floor to introduce himself and give his welcoming remarks.
Okay, folks, my name is Soogil. I am a visiting professor at KDI School of Public Policy and Management, and I have been the main advisor to the school on its present MOOC course development. And I'm very pleased and honored to be engaged in discussion with you folks out there. I'm afraid that we are having a problem in terms of the audio connection, so I am using my handphone in order to communicate with Thomas Arnold, who is the facilitator of our dialogue.
Okay. Thank you, Professor. So, Professor, the first question we have from the discussion forums is that environmental issues are related. Environmental issues are related also to power. So most advanced countries are those who pollute the most environment, and this pollution has an impact on weak countries, on poor countries. But because they are poor and weak, they cannot demand actions from rich countries. So in this case, how can developing countries, developing weak states overcome this environmental damage from the powerful countries?
Um yes, the developing countries are handicapped in all areas of international cooperation because of the asymmetry of economic and political power. Uh, but it is for that reason that, in general, from the viewpoint of developing countries in dealing with advanced countries, on all on all international issues, the multilateral cooperation is necessary. In the multilateral cooperation, for example, the United Nations consists of 193 or four countries, and only about uh, up to 40 countries of them can be classified as developed countries, whereas the rest, the majority of the membership, represent the interests of developing countries, and so and in the multilateral context, all countries have equal votes and voices. So this multilateral approach to international cooperation on such issues as environmental uh, protection uh, helps balance the political relationship between developing countries and developed countries. So, United Nations in particular has over time um, uh, developed and launched a number of uh, international uh, covenant or agreements on how to cope with the environmental objectives, such as climate change cooperation, the protection and restoration of biodiversity, and on effort and the needed efforts to combat uh, climate, I'm sorry, desertification and so on.
Yes.
And so uh, nowadays, developed countries acknowledge the fact that they are responsible for most of the environmental damage to the planet, and they are now willing to uh, take up their due share of the necessary work to protect the global environment. But they take the position that looking forward, now the developed countries' economic growth uh, have will slow down, whereas developing countries, including those in sub-Saharan Africa and South Asia, are looking forward to very rapid economic growth. Therefore, they will uh, be increasingly an important player in environmental degradation looking forward. Therefore, they say that they developed countries alone cannot uh, protect and restore global environment, and they ask for the due contributions by developing countries. And and they have pledged that they are willing to provide the assistance in terms of the necessary financial resources and technology transfer in order to help developing countries play their due role in global environmental preservation. So I think nowadays the playing field has become level between developed and developing countries, and that is exactly the case with the climate change uh, action cooperation, as have been uh, spelled out by the Paris Agreement that was launched and is now being implemented by almost all countries around the world. So I think that the question of asymmetry of power, that problem has been